Hey guys, this is Seth. Keeping it real. Today I have the honor of interviewing
Ashley Bustillo.
Ashley Bustillo. She is from Houston. Her family is originally from San Salvador. She is a student at UT. Now you guys know normally we do these recordings on YouTube, but today this is live here in Austin at the Domain, and we met Ashley as our waitress at a restaurant, and she started talking to us about a little bit about her life. We started sharing about passive income. And what she's going to do is interview me, instead of me interviewing her. Usually it's me interviewing other people, but you're doing it the other way around, about what it is and what it looks like to build passive income if you are from a Hispanic country, or you live in a Hispanic country, or an immigrant here to the U.S. Can you do that? What does that look like? And specifically for Amazon. So I'm passing the mic to Ashley, and she's going to do the interview like a newscaster.
All right, thank you, Seth. And I'm going to do this interview for my Spanish class. Later I'll translate it, so I'm going to be doing it in English. So, what caused you to lean towards earning passive income?
So the biggest thing for me was the only time I got paid is when I was working. And then when I stopped working, I stopped getting paid. And I got tired of this cycle of you always have to be working 9 to 5 or more. And the only time you make money is when you're actually working your butt off. And then as soon as you stop, the money stops. And so the concept of building something, kind of like the idea I like to put into my mind is building a machine that you build in your garage, and it's making money for you. And it might take a lot of time and a lot of effort and sweat and blood and tears to build that machine. But once it's built, while you're sleeping, it's still spitting out dollars for you. And so I heard you could do this on Amazon. I thought, you know what? Why not try that? The other reason, Ashley, is because I was $24,000 in debt. I was depressed. I was struggling with my identity as a person. Like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Like, what do I want to do with my life? And I knew I didn't want to spend the rest of my life building someone else's vision. Like, every day I'm working on someone else's vision. And I worked for the richest company in the world, Apple. Nothing against Apple at all, but it wasn't an environment where I was free to use my natural abilities to their fullest. Like, I had to always do what my boss said, but what if I was better at doing something here? And so that was the biggest thing that moved me to that.
Okay, that's a really good answer. And how did the idea of selling on Amazon occur to you?
So when I learned that on Amazon you can send your products into their warehouse instead of having to ship everything from your own home. So in other words, if I send products that I've built to their warehouse, and let's say you were on Amazon, you're like, hey, I'm going to find something, and you bought something, Amazon ships it to you from their warehouse instead of me having to wrap it up and ship it. And I read the book by, his last name is Gerber, and it's called The E-Myth. And the whole idea is to build something that's automated, so you're not spending all your time fulfilling orders, but someone else is fulfilling the orders for you, and then you can focus on what you're good at. So it allowed me to get one product going. Amazon's selling that for me or shipping it for me. Now I have all this time while I'm making money, so now I can go and start another product. And Amazon created such an automated system for me, I didn't want to turn it down.
Okay. And how has earning passive income helped you to have a better schedule with your family?
That has been huge. Now, I will not lie, it is hard, especially at the beginning. Because what a lot of people do is they're used to, as soon as you work for a week, then you get paid that next week. It's not like that with passive income. With passive income, you have to build up a system that works for you. So instead of you working for it, it's working for you. You know how when you work for a job, you work for your boss, you answer to your boss, you let them know, oh, I'm late, or, I got to take off vacation, or can I please have more vacation? Yeah. Well, when you have your own company, you don't want to become the slave to your company. You want your company to be your servant. It needs to serve you. And so what it's done for me is it's allowed me to be able to, in the middle of a day, if I want to, I can go take my wife on a date. I can take the kids out to eat. I can go running at one of the state parks. I can go buy something really nice and not have to worry about, oh, do I have enough money in my account? And I'm not saying, oh, be free and loose with your money. I'm not like that. I'm budgeted. But to have that margin and then to be able to have money to invest in other things that make you, I'll just give you an example. So when I started, we had multiple streams of income. We were also renting out condos in South Congress through Airbnb. Well, that's super passive income. People would book, all you do is message them. You pay a cleaner to take care of the cleaning. I didn't have to show up at the property. So you're making money constantly every day or every week as people come in and rent, but I could still be at home. And it's allowed me to build multiple businesses and then create multiple passive income streams. But still, the cost is up front. You have to work it hard, and it's not easy to get it going. But once it's going, not only do you feel better because it's something you created, but you don't have to spend all your time serving that business.
Okay, that was a really good answer.
Sure.
And do you think that this source of income is enough to be able to open your own business without taking any more loans?
That is a really good question, because for most people, when you start a regular business, like let's say you're going to do a coffee shop on the corner of the domain here, you're going to have to spend probably $100,000 just to get it going, maybe even more, because this is a really highly valued place for shopping. So you have to put in a ton of money, and then with most companies, you have to wait at least a year before you start making your money back. I became very good friends with the coffee shop owner off of a street here in Austin, and it's been 3 years, and he's just now starting to get profitable. And for him, that's normal. And this guy's been doing this for years. He's in his 60s. He's an entrepreneur. He understands that's the cost. Well, in Amazon, you don't have to take out a loan. I literally started with a single dime. And for me, this may not be the most practical way of doing it, but I wanted to be able to tell people this story someday. So I literally walked around places like this, and I just approached random people, and I would say, hey, my name is Seth. Can I ask you a quick question? And some people think, oh, you're going to talk to me about religion. You're going to sell me something. No. I want to ask you a question. I have a dime. How many times do you think I would have to double? I think I asked you this question, actually.
You did.
At work. How many times would I have to double this dime for it to reach $100,000? And most people think thousands of times.
Right.
But it only takes 20 times. So I did that. I doubled it 20 times until it became $100,000. Then I used that money to build passive income streams. I forgot your question already. I'm sorry.
It was, do you think it's enough to open a business without loans?
Yes. I'll give you another example. You don't have to go out and double a dime. This one guy, he got his credit card. Mm-hmm. He went out and bought a whole bunch of stuff, and we teach this in our program. He bought a whole bunch of stuff to sell on Amazon. He sold it on Amazon. After you get paid every 2 weeks, after his first 2 payments from Amazon, he had $1,200 in his account, in his bank, from his Amazon sales, and he only owed a little over $800 on his card. And he had just started. So that's already $400 profit in just a matter of a month. Most places don't let you do that. So, no, you don't have to have a ton of capital, but you do have to be willing to work hard and be consistent.
Okay. Do you work with buyers or suppliers from Latin American countries? And if so, do you ever need translators who speak Spanish while working with these foreign countries? So
the reason I love this question is because there's a huge opportunity for people in Latin American countries, specifically in Guatemala, Mexico, San Salvador even. Like, there are different places where people are learning how to do this, but there's no one showing them how to do it. Right now, the only suppliers I personally work with are in the U.S. or in China. Now, there are opportunities for suppliers in Mexico. I have a friend who works there. He sells Amazon there, and he uses suppliers there. And the cost per unit is a little bit higher than China because of the dollar value. But the nice thing is it's here on this side of the world. So because he's on this side of the world, and he's selling on Mexico Amazon, he's selling on U.S. Amazon and Canada, it's really fast, and the shipping counteracts the cost. Right. Like, you can get it cheaper in China, a lower price, but then you have to pay for shipping to come all the way around the world, where it's better to have it in Mexico. So I personally don't yet. There are people on my team who do. There's a growing opportunity where more suppliers and factories are being built in places like Guatemala. Right now, there are a ton of people starting to sell on Amazon in Guatemala. And these are like digital nomads. They're super smart. They're learning. They're figuring it out, but there's no one there teaching them. Right. So what I love about the question, and when you sent it to me, I thought this is perfect. We are right now building a Spanish-speaking version of Just One Dime, the name of our coaching company. Okay. One of our coaches, he speaks Spanish. He's from Cuba, and he's going to be leading this entire division. Okay. Then we have another coach who's super good at Amazon arbitrage. He's going to be helping him. So we're working on building that out and translating everything into Spanish. He'll have his own Spanish YouTube version videos of Just One Dime. So it's a growing opportunity, but the supplier, most people don't think Latin America when they think suppliers. They still think China, and some think like Pakistan or some places in the Middle East. Okay.
And do you think the Latino community is well informed of passive income possibilities such as selling on Amazon?
I do, but there's 2 sides. One is retail and online arbitrage, and the other one is private label. So retail online arbitrage is where you go out, you buy something at a discount, and you sell it. But you have to keep buying it and selling it in little batches. Private label is where you find your own product. Maybe it could be a version of this case, and you have your own logo on it instead of Zizan, and this is your brand, okay? And so you have a supplier produce maybe 2,000 or 3,000 of it. You send it in, and now you don't have to touch it for months because it just keeps selling over and over again. That's much more passive because there's less you have to do after you set it up. In my experience, most people in Latin American countries are more familiar with the arbitrage than they are with the private label. So it's a growing opportunity. There's more people moving that direction, but there's still a huge gap. People think in short buy a little bit, sell a little bit, versus build something that sells over and over again. And when you do it that way, it's more passive because once it's set up, it keeps working for you, and then you can go out on another product.
Okay. I read an article about something like that.
Yeah.
Like in the Latino community, they think like little
Yes.
instead of thinking big,
Right.
big,
That's when
sell
you go,
bigger, make more money.
Exactly. We used to do a whole lot of yard sales. Like at the beginning, if you go and buy some yard sales,
Right.
it was 90% Latinos, 90% Hispanics were there, and they're always dealing. And it's a great thing. It's a great start. But the next step is build your own product, build your own brand, fashion, things like that, and grow from there.
Okay. And how can we make the community, the Latino community, including immigrants, more aware of this possibility so that they too have other sources of income, such as passive income?
One of my friends, Tim Jordan, I talked to him yesterday on the phone. He's helping me to get prepared for going to China, which I'm flying there with my business partner Josiah this Sunday.
That's exciting.
On the way, he was in the car on his way to the airport to fly to Guatemala. He goes to Guatemala now at least once a year. He works with a guy who's teaching people. He invited me to go. So I think the first way is we need to go down there.
Okay.
We need to go down to these countries in South America, Mexico, and other places, and just be there and teach and talk to them. And if a translator is needed, that's totally fine, because mi comprende un poquito español. But the other thing is YouTube videos. So I've noticed Hispanics are very smart online.
Mm-hmm.
They understand how it works. They're really good at SEO. So we're starting a YouTube channel by David Lopez that's entirely in Spanish. So that's another way just to educate them online. Then to match that with going down there and being physically around them is perfect.
Right. I like that answer. And the last question I have for you is, what suggestions do you have for Latino immigrants who want to have a passive income but don't know how to achieve it?
So the first thing I would say to them is you have to start somewhere. So if you work for a boss, it doesn't mean you need to fire your boss today. Well, that's our goal. We help people fire their bosses. Your first step is you want to start selling online. So even if it means you go into a discount store and you just start selling, you need to start. And you could go to Amazon, you could start an account. You could even start what's called an individual seller account. There's no cost at all. And every time you sell, you pay a $1 fee and then another fee for Amazon being a referral party for you. But as long as your profits are high enough, you can make money. So you just start. That's how most people do. They just start. And it's messy, and they might do it all wrong, and that's totally fine. That's the best way to learn. Second, get a coach. Find someone who knows what they're doing, someone who succeeded at it, and have them help you do that. Have them show you step by step, how do you do this? There's a lot of coaching programs out there, and the way they work is like this. They send you a bunch of videos, and you go off with them, and they're good videos. Some are, some aren't really. And then they say bye, and you never talk to them again. What we focus on is giving people real life coaching. 4 hours every week, we coach and show people how to do it. We share screens, we talk to them, and it's all over video. That's why we have people from 67 different countries in this program doing that. So to them, I would say, yeah, join Just One Dime or any coach. It doesn't have to be us who can help you. But don't wait until you learn everything before you start. People, sometimes they overthink and they think themselves out of doing anything. To really catch that passion and that joy, that sense of, oh my goodness, look what I just did, you have to go out and start. Even if you do it all wrong, it's okay. It's better than just waiting and trying to educate yourself the whole time.
Okay. That was a good answer. Well, thank you so much for answering all of my questions.
Yeah, awesome.
Do you have any questions for me?
Yes. When are you starting?
As soon as possible.
Yeah.
Honestly, as soon as possible.
Why
After we talked at the restaurant, you honestly convinced me, and everything that you said, I kind of agree with. That you don't know where you are, or you don't know how you're feeling about this,
right.
And maybe I'm not in as much debt, or I'm younger, but I'm still thinking about my future.
Yeah.
And so, after a little talk, you convinced me for sure.
Yeah. See, if I was to go back to your age, you're younger than me, and I was able to say, hey, Seth, start this now, I cannot imagine where I would be today. I started this just a few years ago. So, my encouragement to you, Ashley, is whatever you do, wherever you go, just start. Don't wait until you get all your ducks in a row. Just start learning, watching YouTube videos, picking up ideas, and just start selling things here and there. In fact, because we're in the holiday seasons coming up,
it's perfect time to sell.
Exactly, huge opportunity. You could generate some cash, then use that cash to start private labeling or get a coaching program, whatever you want to do, and invest it so it gets your business going. And it will be hard because you got school, you got work, you got all this other stuff going.
Right.
But 10 years down the road, you're going to go, thank you, Ashley, 10 years younger, for doing this. I am so thankful that you did that.
I hope so. I look forward to it.
Awesome. Very cool. Thank you, guys. Have an awesome day, and we'll see you later.
Thank you.